Three, two, one. Welcome back, everybody, to Situation X Review, the Death Note Review, Part 2. I'm here with the Diddler. Diddler, what are you saying?
Nice to be back. New arc to discuss, So we're here, man. We're here.
We are here indeed. We just finished Death Note Part 1. So, Death Note Part 1, what was that? Episode 1 to 24? Episodes 1 to 24. And now we are on Death Note Part 2, which I believe, for everybody watching, this is episodes 25 to 44. So, in the last episode, our guy has died. But it's been good. I think we should just get into it. So, the Diddler, your thoughts?
Look, man. Obviously, we did a prediction last episode.
We did.
I don't know. I think I can't remember exactly what I said, but I don't think I hit it right on the money. You'll have to tell me. Did I get it on the money?
To be honest, you did hit some bullseyes. You said that Elle was gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
You said that this, to be honest, when I heard this, I had to keep myself composed. When you said Elle was gonna die, the only reason they wouldn't kill Elle is if Light works with Elle and they're trying to find another person together. You did say that. And when you said it, oh my days, I had to compose myself. So, and another prediction you said was that Light's dad will find out.
Okay.
You said you were most confident in that prediction out of all of them.
So that's 2 out of 3.
It's 2 out of 3.
Okay, not bad. That's not bad.
And Light's dad could find out. The show's not done.
Of course. Because we did a prediction to the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
Look, 2 out of 3, that's not bad. I felt like Elle dying, he didn't die in the way I expected him to die, but still I got that right. And then the second one I got right was, what was the second one?
You basically said that the only reason Elle would stay alive is because another person with Kira's powers will appear and Light and Elle will work together to catch them.
Yeah. Because I thought it was going to go in a direction where we saw like someone else trying to get Elle instead of just Light.
Yeah, basically, you were thinking back then that there's gonna be another villain.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking at the time. But obviously, we were introduced to the third Kira, which was technically another villain, but he wasn't too persistent at catching Elle like Light would. So obviously,
no, he wasn't focused on catching Elle.
He wasn't focused. He didn't know that Elle was a threat like that. So, and even if he did, he still wouldn't have done anything. Elle would have still roamed peacefully, because he didn't have the intelligence, but still, But overall, in terms of how this arc has played out, it went how I expected it to go, but it also didn't at the same time. Obviously, I felt like out of this arc, I criticized the last arc, and I've got more criticism for this arc, because at the end of the day, I personally felt like this arc, it was just I complained that the last arc was slow paced towards the latter episodes. This one was very, very slow paced throughout the whole arc. It was very, very slow paced, and for me, I just felt like when it was actually Elle vs Light, not together, actually doing it, that's when the whole thing was fire. That's the whole show was boom, boom, boom. But then when they started working together, like, I don't know, innit? So,
I guess it's a different dynamic because when it's Elvis Live, right, we're seeing two, as you said in the previous pod, we're seeing two highly intelligent, highly skilled, highly competitive guys facing off against each other. But this arc, the Yotsuba arc, it's more like those two are working together, but we know they're gonna catch them. Like the Yotsuba people are smart, but they're nowhere near this level of intelligence. Like they got exposed very quickly. So it was more about, I guess, the more of the tension was, what is Light's plan? Because we sort of understood halfway through, okay, there's a plan.
No.
And that was kind of the main tension. But whilst Light had lost his memories, him and Elle were just cooking.
Say it again.
Him and Elle were just cooking.
Andy and the white background. Andy and the white up front.
Yeah. He was, because those two, remember there was a point halfway through where the dad was like, no, we're going to do it my way.
Yeah.
Because Elle was willing to sacrifice people. We're going to get into that. But Elle was willing to do certain things that the dad was not willing to do.
Yeah.
And then eventually, it was just those two working together, but they were cooking.
Nah, it was beautiful. It was phenomenal. It's like, look, if you're bringing, let's go term to term. If we're talking about ball, that's like seeing Messi and Ronaldo come together.
It literally
on
is.
The same
it
team.
literally is.
They're playing to the best and the best. It was beautiful. And like, bruh, why can't I honestly thought that we were gonna see this whole dynamic throughout the whole show, them two together, just working side by side. And obviously, we obviously know why we didn't see it. Because if we saw that, there would be no show. We just see them just cooking. There'll be no dilemma. Because those guys would just be running through everyone catching bad guys. Because them two together, those two, they're two true detectives at heart, man. Two true detectives at heart.
They're two true detectives, 100%. But as a whole, you think it was a worse arc compared to the previous one?
Yeah, it was a worse arc. It wasn't a terrible arc. It was a worse arc. But it's an arc where it leaves us. It's an arc. Because you see certain things, like you have arcs that are so good. It's like, like certain arcs, it's just like the end of a show. You get me? But where we have this arc, it's like, okay, yeah, this is going to progress at the end of the day. It's not like, where, that's so bad. It's like, you're not going to watch the next arc. But it's not an arc where it's so good. And it's like where you felt like it's come to its ceiling where you're not going to watch the next one as well. So I feel like it's the arc is worse, but it's still an interesting arc. There's still major developments and big things have happened. So of course, worse arc, but still highly credible.
What was your favorite moment of the arc?
Look, man. When it comes to these shows, movies with a villain, you know me, I'm always right for the villain, for the bands. I'm always gonna ride with a villain. So when I just saw them two man died at the end, L and his little side piece dying at the end. Yeah? When I just saw him die at the end, I say, hey.
Victory at last.
Victory. I was singing, we are the champions. I was gassed. Because you know me, look. Yeah, bro. For me, Light, I like Light's character more than L's. So I wanted him to win it. So when I saw them two, it wasn't a quick death as well. It was a slow one. I just said, I'm not gonna ask you.
The bells are ringing.
And
he sensed it. He knew. He literally knew. He could feel it in his bones. Like, how can the big guy be on the rooftop saying, I can hear the bells ringing?
Mm-hmm.
He knew.
Mm-hmm. Bram, you see how he was looking at him? I was dying. I was just choking over his body. And you had L done last second. Just like how, remember how the FBI agent died?
Ray Pemba.
Yeah, Ray Pemba. They had a similar death, as in, he was looking at him as he was dying. His eyes said the words. Let me tell you what he said. He said, look, I am the captain. I am the captain. That's what he said. So, 100% best moment for me. 100%.
Nah. To be honest, you know what? The Yotsuba arc, right? I low-key, there's some part of it that I like. You know, we were talking about Hunter x Hunter in the previous pod.
Yeah.
You know the Hunter x Hunter Chimera Ants. The York New arc. When they're beefing with the Phantom Troop. And the way the Phantom Troop are just operating, and then you've got the Mafia, and it's just the auction, and Kurapika's out trying to get a revenge. Or his revenge, actually. But this arc, right? When I'm seeing the Yotsuba guys, when they're doing their meetings, listen, who are we gonna kill? Oh, we can't. Oh, one of them is panicking. Oh, we shouldn't do this. We need to stop. And then they're like, listen, you're gonna die next then. You've exposed yourself. The way they were operating, it was kind of genius. We'll get more into it, into the big five. But like, the way the Kira set that up, he said, okay, I'm not just gonna kill people. I'm gonna gather the intelligence of others. I said, you know what, first. But probably, yeah, like killing L was a key moment.
100%.
Well, but that
For you, what was your moment?
For me,
Yeah.
what was a great moment? I can't lie. When they're basically chasing the third Kira, right?
Yeah.
They're chasing the third Kira, and my man is panicking. And he's going to the office, he's trying to figure things out, and then he basically just said, Bunny, give me the ice.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's my favorite moment, but I could relate to that guy. Like, you know when you're just in so much
The stress, the pressure.
Nah, the pressure's getting to you. They're doing a countdown on live TV.
Yeah.
He knows he's gonna get bait. He's trying to talk to his friends, but then he's realizing he can't actually reveal who he is. Like, we saw that man systematically break down.
Literally, it's so real. It's real, man.
And I could relate to that.
It's
I could
real.
like, you see when he made that deal?
Yeah.
That was such an impulsive decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he actually breathed in, breathed out, he could have figured out a way to get that guy's name.
Yeah.
But it's the moment, it's the pressure, and I think that's quite realistic. Like, in that moment, you're just gonna lose your head. You make a deal. Like, he just made a deal to give up half his life,
Literally.
just to save the moment, for him to end up dying at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. And like, when it comes to it, you know, a lot of guys are gonna say, yeah, I wouldn't have taken the deal. I would have been more composed. Brother, be real, man.
In that moment, like, you're probably thinking in the back of my head, okay, at the end of the day, I could always take the deal.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, hatch.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes the deal just to find out all of the memories been wiped out. Like, I just know he was stressed.
Nah, I thought that was a really good scene as well. I actually like that one as well.
But I think, listen, again, it was a solid arc. Was it better than the last one? You say no, but it was solid. Anyway, let's get into the big five. So in the big five, we talk about 5 key topics from which we gathered after watching. The first of the big 5 is a good question, a good debate. I have seen YouTube videos breaking down this. Like, you don't know, you know, in anime, right? There is whole YouTube channels where what they do is they compare characters from different shows and they basically say who's stronger, and there's science. Like they say this character, he has a move where he can break the moon. That's this amount of times and all this
The
stuff.
man are like pundits.
Literally, like they analyze the science. Seth the programmer, he's one of them. He literally analyzes the science. Oh, his punch is worth a Megatron. There is a whole field of guys who try break this down. So this is not a simple question.
Of course.
But our topic, first one, L beats Light, who is actually smarter.
Of course.
So tell me your thoughts.
I mean, look, we discussed this a little bit during the last episode, and look, who's smarter? Let's be real now. We know the answer to that, and it is Light. How do we know that? Because Light is alive. Yeah. Simple. Just like that. Just like that. The brother's breathing. The brother's walking. He's talking. Bro. L is packed off. He's gone. That brother's gone. So, first of all, we already know that. But when we actually look into it and we say, okay, yeah, why is Light smarter than L? I mean, it's for us. Like, the reason is very, very simple. Because when you look at L was like Sherlock Holmes. L has traditional detective skills that he uses. But when you actually look at Light and the skills he has, he also has a little bit of those traditional detective skills. But, you know, Light also has the ability of adaptation and psychological manipulation. That's the difference. And I think because Light has that ability to adapt in whatever situation he is. You know, let's say, for example, like, bro, like, what kind of brains does he have? Like, this guy, like, giving up the Death Note, first of all. Like, giving up the Death Note and not only did he give it up, he passed it on along to one of the members of the Yotsuba group. He wanted to give the Death Note to a person who was greedy, who wasn't
He had
intelligent.
specific rules. He said, give it to a person who is greedy, who loves money, and will use it for himself.
Literally.
And he schemed his whole way. He said, I will eventually reach it.
L has the ability to analyze human behavior. And in terms of certain things that you do, like say for certain killings, he understands the reasons behind the killings. You know, for certain movements of Light, he understands, okay, why is Light doing it? But at the end, and there's times in it where you see, okay, yeah, L was trying to play moves on Light, but Light already knows. The guy already knows. So when it comes down to it, it's Light, man. It's Light, and I think anyone who denies it's not Light is just in denial. You know, there are certain things that need heavy analyzation for there to be an outcome. This does not need heavy analyzation, in my opinion.
Okay, could you say this, right? We're saying Light is smarter because he's still alive and he outplanned L.
Of course.
Now, is the reason Light is ahead of L not because he's smarter, but simply because he has lower morals? Because if you think about it, they were both trying to kill each other, right? But L was trying to catch him with irrefutable evidence. And then he was going to kill him, whilst Light was going to kill him by any means. Because you could argue that when L had Light in prison, but just didn't have that irrefutable evidence, he would have won if he had Light's type of lack of morals. If he said, I'm gonna catch this guy by all costs, he could have caught him. But he had to let him go because he didn't have that irrefutable evidence. And we have to remember, L never said it's not Light. Like, remember, if you look at what was going on in the early part of the arc, L's kind of depressed.
Yeah.
He's depressed because his theory doesn't make sense to them. And he had to try and rationalize it. And then eventually he came to the theory which was correct. He said the Kira power has passed on and that light had the power, definitely, but lost the power. But he was trying to figure out whether light had the power and gave it up willingly, or whether he didn't give it up willingly and he schemed it and planned it. But he did catch him.
Yeah.
Is it just his lack of morals that light is just a killer, light is just a dog, he don't care?
When it comes to lights, it's a very, very fair point. And it's a point that I do believe plays a part into light's victory over L. Morals. I think, because this is the thing, when you have no morals, you can do anything. You can do anything. You can do anything. And I think just because he has that ability, that mindset, where he has lower morals, there's certain things that he can exploit that a person with morals wouldn't exploit. Like, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. But still, I still think, L, as we also discussed, L, there have been moments, where we're like, what about L's morals? Are L's morals really that to the level we really talk about? So at the end of the day, I do feel like the fact that light has no morals has led to his victory. But I still do think that he is overall smarter in other abilities as well. But we also still need to analyze L's morals as well.
To be honest, I do agree with you. I think light is smarter because for me, my evidence is this. When light has lost his memory, we're basically just seeing his pure intelligence in the role that L does. And if you watch that arc, if you talk about he performed better, you would have to say light outperformed L when they were both detectives. There was more moments of L saying, oh, light, I didn't think of that, that's actually smart. Then there was of light saying about L. There was both sides. Like when light basically baited, he was L to the Yotsuba people. Like L was like to him, oh, light made a mistake. But there was too many instances. There was more instances of light showing more outperforming essentially. Like if I was to grade both of them, I would have put light's performance as a clean detective ahead of L's. But part of light's victory over L is lack of morals, and is knowledge and intelligence the same thing? Because he had more knowledge of the Death Guild.
Yeah.
So is it the fact that he has the knowledge of the Death Note is the reason why he was able to outmaneuver L, because L did not also have that same knowledge?
I think I think that's a point that is partially true as well. I think that's definitely a point that's true. I think no. L was playing a losing game. L was playing a losing game from the jump. Liar was always gonna have the upper hand just because of he just knew things. He just knew things, and in most situations where let's say there's criminals and law enforcement, at the very start of the race, the criminal always has, the head start over the.
They have more knowledge.
Yeah,
they have more knowledge.
No?
They have knowledge of what they've done. They have knowledge of the mistakes they've made. They have knowledge of what they need to hide. Of course, because L don't know that Light needs to hide his method of killing, and he needs to hide a specific notebook and the papers. He's got to figure that stuff out.
Literally.
But again, the reason why I would say Light is more smarter is because when Light lost his memories and they're both in the same situation, Light still outperformed L.
100%. Overall, when you watch the show overall, you just see instances where you say, okay, yeah, Light's knowledge is very, very, it's up there, man. It's up there.
One of the best moves I've ever seen in anime, in this show, when he put the fake rules to put them under pressure, where he said, everybody who touches it will die within 13 days. He cleared himself and put L under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Those fake rules.
Yeah, he's a strategist, I think, and what made him a winner was that he played the long-term game. He played the long-term game. He ultimately, his ultimate plan was to get rid of L. That was the ultimate plan. But still, he went through all these little mazes, just all these little mazes, just to get to that end victory. Just that end victory. So I think his long-term way of thinking is just, I think that's what puts him up there.
Yeah, they're both geniuses, but I think for me, the Situation X review answer is Light gets the win. I think Light is smarter. Next in the big five, the third Kira. So we know the first one was, of course, Light Yagami. The second one, Misa Armane. Now we've got the third Kira, the member of the Yotsuba group. What were your thoughts on the third Kira?
My thoughts on the third Kira. I mean, look, a lot of people watching this aren't gonna see eye to eye with me always, but I'm pretty sure we can agree eye to eye on this one. Look, was the third Kira a entertaining character? No. Could you agree on that as well?
He himself, as a person, was not entertaining.
Of course. He's not an entertaining character. Is there a character that is needed? Yes. There had to be a third Kira. So, okay, yeah, we say the character is needed. But still, I was like, for me, I just felt like, okay, there wasn't much about the guy. Okay, he was evil, he was greedy. But I feel like I wasn't impressed. I feel like they could have utilized a better, and there could have been more character development as well with the third Kira. So overall, I actually wasn't impressed with the third Kira.
I think him as a character is not entertaining, but he was necessary.
Oh, cool.
What I will say though, the situation he was in was very entertaining.
Of course,
for me,
100%.
When I first watched it and rewatching it again, the situation that you've got this panel of 8 to 10 people, all people, they're trying to advise the interest of the company, they're trying to advance the interest of the business. None of them know who Kira is.
Of course.
They have the capacity to find out, but they know that it's not worth it.
No, that whole Yotsuba arc, the whole Yotsuba group,
yeah,
that was very, very entertaining. Like the meetings and how things played out, and the little phone calls, and this person, okay, you don't want to do this, you're gonna die. That I felt like that was very, very entertaining.
And I feel like you had to have a character like him being the Kira to get that situation. Because like what one of them said, one of the Yotsuba people, the smarter ones, they said certain Yotsuba members, if they got the death note, they would have just done it by themselves. But it had to be someone dumb, but with a bit of intelligence enough to gather that, like, deep the strategy. He basically said, the best way to do this is for me to get a group of people to not only hide myself, but to give me intelligence on how to make the right moves. Yeah. It was kind of genius. It was actually kind of genius. But that situation when they're plotting who's going to kill, we need to kill the president of this company, we need to kill this lawmaker. It was genius. I enjoyed it.
Nah, I think, I think 100%. I think that whole Yotsuba group, although they weren't at the same level as Light and Kira, as Light and L, still, I feel like they were very, very calculated, and they were a smart group. And in the hands of another person in that group, 100%, like it would have been crazier. It literally would have been crazier. 100%. It would have been way more crazier, just due to the fact that because the third Kira that we had, he wasn't really a dog like that. He wasn't. He wasn't really a dog like some of the other guys sitting across him. Hey,
like that guy with the long hair.
Yeah.
That guy was smart. He literally was controlling it, and it's the way the other people, because there was dogs who were smart, but there was victims who were smart. Like the victims who were smart literally said, "I know it's not you because you would have used it yourself. You're too intelligent for something like this." Like they literally said, "We can figure out who it is, but it's not necessary for us to figure it out." It was only when the pressure got to them, they said, "Okay, who actually is it?"
And then obviously a couple of the members found out eventually. But even when they found out, they weren't surprised.
No, they weren't.
They weren't surprised. They knew. They knew. But if that was in the hands of another member, long day.
What do you think about Light's move to send it to someone send it to someone business, love money, corrupt, and someone who will use it for his own gain? Like, do you think, like, was that necessary or?
No. Super necessary. Super necessary. I felt like that whole, like, you have to put yourself in the position of some of these characters, yeah? Because let's say we're talking where we're at the end of the first arc and we're like, okay, yeah, what do we do? No one is doing what Light has just done. No one. Like, even just him giving that death note, just him giving up and passing it on to another person, like, that whole thing, that's a crazy play itself. And then to say, okay, yeah, look, I'm going to give it to a smart, not too smart, to a greedy person that's going to use it for his own gain, still is a great move. Because at the end of the day, you know, he had to know who was in the hands of it. He had to know, and I feel like it was a beautiful play. I feel like it was a beautiful play. And these are things what we say, like, it's the smartest.
But don't you think, because of the fact he gave it to someone like this, the police were able to catch him a lot more easier? Now, knowledge of the death note is around. L, though, he's dead.
Yeah.
But the police know about him.
Yeah.
The police know about the death note. Yeah. So, but the knowledge is common knowledge now. So when Light goes back to killing people, which we presume he will, they're just gonna know, oh, it's a death note, Shinigami, all this stuff. So don't you think that, okay, it was a good move for him to get it back, but he's now made it public knowledge? Could that not cost him?
It'll cost him someone with the intelligence of L and that opposes Light comes around. He's not being heavily investigated, and also we have to see what he does with it as well next. So if he is, so let's say he's gone back to his old ways, he's killing criminals. I don't think there's gonna be a point where it's like, okay, yeah, they normalize it. The police, the citizens, the news, they normalize it. I don't think it gets to that point. So now we have to see, okay, who is going to potentially be a op of Light? That's what we say, okay, yeah, another person in law enforcement, or maybe someone that Light has affected. We have to see, and whether it was a bad move or not, we will only know when we see who his true opposition is and how he acts with the Death Note. But in my opinion, I think he'll cost him in some ways. I think it's not going to be as... Because the battle with L was... it was a tough battle for Light. He ultimately did win. But I think he's going to face harder battles coming. He will face harder battles.
All I know is that it definitely ain't gonna be those Japanese police, because they're convinced that Light is their savior. They're clowns.
Oh yeah, no, of course. And
on the intelligence, they stand on business, but they are clowns.
And that's where you have to say, okay, yeah, maybe it wasn't a bad move, because now he's got all these people on his side. So
true.
Still, I think it was a move that had to be done. I don't oppose him doing that move, and I think it was the right move.
True. Well, the Yotsuba group, they were a very interesting bunch. The third Kira, he was also interesting. Before we close on this big five, these guys are so dumb. They literally hired the second greatest detective, Coil, paid him millions just for people to find out he's another L. He's L. They got played.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of dumb people in this show, man. There's a lot of dumb people in this show. I'm not sending shots to one specific person. I'm just saying overall, there's been a lot of bad plays. There's actually been a lot of bad plays.
Speaking of someone who is potentially a dumb person in this show, the third of the big five is Misa Amane. So, is Misa actually useful? The title of Misa's part in part 1, Big Five, we titled it, is Misa Amane Loyal or a Fool? The Loyal Fool. That was her title, The Loyal Fool. So, you said in part 1 that her loyalty would be useful to Light.
Cool.
We saw what happened in the Yotsuba arc with Misa. What's your thoughts on her now?
Look, I said Misa's loyalty be beneficial to Light. Was I right? Hell yes. I was right, no? I was right.
You were right.
I was right. And obviously, this is the thing. When we're talking about in the end as well, that's when we're talking about how she was most useful with her Shinigami eyes. Because when it came to that, still, I actually need to reanalyze that. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, she was the main reason how Light got L's identity at the end, no?
Basically, what happened was she took the deal again.
She
took the deal again. So her Light is now a quarter of what it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
She took the deal again, and L basically knew that the second Kira was active, and Rem, who's in love with Misa, basically knew that L is going to catch Misa. Like he knew, she knew, or whatever gender Rem is, they knew, okay, L was going to catch Misa. So Light essentially put Rem in a situation where Rem had to kill L to save Misa.
Okay.
Taking all of them out, taking out L, taking out Watari, taking out Rem. Literally, he has 3 biggest problems.
Oh, cool. And this is the thing. When it comes to that situation, you can't say, okay, yeah, that is because of Misa's intelligence, because obviously you have to understand that the person she was attached to obviously had deep feeling. So obviously that comes into play. So, but this is the thing, she was, okay, you still say she was useful in that aspect. So yeah, she was still useful. But look,
She was.
let's talk about when she actually went and got information for the investigation from the Yotsuba group. Come on, man. That's when I was clapping. That's when I said, okay, cool. Yeah, good. Because I can't lie, she was playing it risky. And I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. When she got that information, when she went to the Light and El, I said, okay, yeah, fair enough.
And she put it all on the line.
Literally.
Because she basically said, she took a risk saying, this third Kira has to like me as the second Kira.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out. My man baited himself.
He baited
He
himself.
fell in love. And to be honest, he was also thinking strategy, but we've already established he's not that intelligent. He was thinking, oh, the second Kira has the eyes. I'm going to have the second Kira with me. She'll be my wife, all this stuff. But he basically just caught himself 4K on tape.
Bro.
And that allowed Lai and El to hone in on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because before that, they didn't know who it was specifically. They just knew it was someone in the room. They would have figured it out, but she saved them a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, like, wanted the Death Note to go to someone who wasn't too crazy intelligent. That's the reason why. And also, I think, look, we know she's an idiot, but she was in fact very, very useful. And obviously it is a shame that she has now halved her life again, because let's say hypothetically, so let's say she halved her life the first time, and let's say it was at age, or let's say a random age was 80. Yeah, 80 years old of death. If she's halved it, has it not gone down to 40 years?
Yeah.
If she's halved it again, it's gone to 20.
She'll be at death's door soon.
No,
Let's be real. She'll be at death's door soon. Because even if she's gonna live to 100, which is rare, but the Japanese, they live long. She's got till 25.
100%. Do we know her current age right now?
Where's Shimi? She's the same age as Light, who's 18.
18.
So, can we figure that out? She's 19.
19.
She's 19.
She'll be dead soon. She'll be very old.
She's got 6 years max.
Get the coffin ready, man. Get the coffin ready,
Yeah.
bro. And she got I know she's gonna leave the will to Light as well, man. Light gonna be.
She'll give Light everything.
Nah, that model money, man, is gonna have Light
Nah.
living lavish. Light's new wife will enjoy that money, man. She'll enjoy that money, but still, it's gonna be sad. Yeah, I should be sad. I know she's gonna die soon. Yeah, there's no way. And like, you
think she dies at the end of the show?
Nah, she's gonna be dead soon. There's no possible way, but unless there's information that we've not been given. There's no way, because she's already taken the deal. She's halved her life twice. So
No, there's no going back. There's no going back. He already said it. There's no going back.
there's no road back. We're gonna miss her, man. We're gonna miss her. But she was a real one.
Misa, she turned out to be useful. She did turn out to be useful. She did do good things. Next in the big five, I think this is quite a good conversation. We touched a bits of it so far in the previous part of the podcast. We spoke last time. We said, is Light right? Is Light right or wrong? And you said no, and we kind of agreed he's not. You could argue that some countries have the death penalty. What's the difference between them and Light? But Light is wrong, we said. An interesting question is El wrong? is L right? And I say this because of this, right? L obviously is the good guy, as we see, in terms of the narrative and the situation. Like, if you're living in that world, you're probably thinking L is the good guy.
100%.
Because L is working with the police, he's a detective, he's trying to catch Light, who essentially is, what do they call Batman? He's a rogue agent enforcing his justice. You know, he's not doing this by law, he's not doing this by the courts, he's doing this as a rogue agent.
Pure passion.
You know, and he's killed police officers. The minute Light killed the FBI, he'd now reached a stage where, okay, this isn't about his justice, this is about his power. So L is the man that's catching him. And we are supposed to root or support for L on a moral standpoint. But L himself, is he right in terms of the way he operates? Because L, his morals are grey. His morals are questionable. Point one. You see the way, we didn't talk about this in the last part, but it was in the last arc. He had the evidence, right? He had the evidence. But the way he held Misa Amane hostage, she wasn't in a prison cell. The police didn't even know she got arrested. In fact, when she was released, they kept it hush-hush. They kept this girl in bondage chains for several days, months even. For months. That was questionable, basically trying to press her into a confession. Obviously, he kept Light as well, but Light volunteered, so we can't get onto that. There has been several times where he is willing to let people die in order to find out information. Not even just, okay, this person's gonna die, but at least I know I'm gonna find out who it is, or we're gonna catch them. He's willing to let people die just to get more information. He does have that dog, that willingness that Light has in order to win. But on a moral standpoint, it's kind of questionable. Personally, I think in the modern day world, right, in the UK or in the US, L, the way he operates would be illegal.
Would be? What? You know what? Nah, it would. It's definitely illegal, and he's serving jail time. But should he serve jail time? I don't really know, man. I don't really know, because this is the thing. You know, okay. Alright, so I will say, okay, yeah. Last episode we talked about his surveillance. And obviously, since then, he's done other things such as he locked up, like, say for example, him locking up Misa Mane. You know what? She was losing her head. She was going crazy.
Yeah, she was going crazy.
Yeah,
she was literally going crazy.
He weren't phased as well. He weren't phased, man. He said, nah, she stays. She stayed. The other guys around him were saying, look at her. Oh, she's losing it. No. I said, no, she stays. And I feel like, okay, yeah, morally, in terms of what he's doing, you know, like, see, this is the thing. When it comes to certain things, sometimes the path isn't always clear. And the path isn't always straight. You know, and sometimes, like, we see it all the time in the real world. The CIA, you know.
Yeah. DEA, watch Narcos, DEA. Can you imagine the way those guys, Agent Murphy and Pena, the pressure he went under for his antics, and he was fighting Pablo Escobar, #1 villain on the map,
literally,
and he was getting in trouble for just doing a couple, working with prostitutes, cutting deals with other stuff. Think about the stuff L's two greatest workers are criminals.
Yeah, literally. And he knows they're criminals, and still he's brought them in. And I think, look, when it comes to a situation like this, he played a dangerous game. He came up short, but still, I do believe L was right for some of the things he did. I think everything he's done, I've not seen it as like, oh, L, why have you done that? You understand? Like, he had to do those things at the end of the day. So I just feel like, L, rest in peace. You're a rule warrior, and I think L was 100% in the right for not some, but all of his actions.
So you're saying that L is not wrong. L, everything he did was fine.
Yes. No, it wasn't fine. But this is the thing, like, you have to get somewhere. And to get somewhere, you have to be dirty. That's just how the game goes.
So his willingness to let multiple people die.
Of course. But you got to understand, it's like, bro, like, do the mathematics. How many people did he let die? How many people were going to be killed?
It's true. Listen, we've got that mentality, but do you think a detective should have that type of mentality? Like, would you want the police to have that mentality?
Look, if I'm the criminal, no.
Okay, that's it.
If I'm a civilian, then yes.
Even if you're the victim.
If I'm yes. Because at the end of the day, look, like, you can all play Mr. Nice Guy, this, that. But when you actually look at some of the biggest operations to take down villains in the real world, they've all been through dirty hands. That's just the way of life. That's just how things have to go. And I think L, his actions are justifiable. Yeah, I think he is in the right. I honestly think he's in the right.
Fess. Last of the big five. This is more scenario what if. Good question. What would you do? You're Light Yagami. No, let's say you're not Light, but you're in a situation like Light. You're coming from school, you pick up the death note, you read the rules, you go home. What do you do?
Look,
and be honest.
If I'm the Diddler and I find the death note, I am going to find Light Yagami. That's what I'm going to do. I'm finding my man. Because, man, what's it doing in my hand? Like, bro, what's it going to do in my hands, innit? Like, it's not a thing where it's like, look, I'm going to find a Light Yagami, or in maybe the real world Light Yagami, or someone like him. I'm just burning the thing. I'm just burning it.
Do you think you have the intelligence to outsmart the modern day police? Listen, let's be real. There's no L in the real world. I mean, you never know.
Bro, man.
But there's no one of... You think this guy's smarter than L?
100%.
Do you think you'll be able to get away with what Light's doing?
It depends on how I use it, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, and you've got the only reason why Light had an attention to it is because he was killing it at a very rapid rate. A lot of his killings were scheduled. They were around similar times at the very, very start, and they were all criminals. So it brought more and more attention. If you're killing people from different areas, which Light wasn't doing, then it's like, who's ever gonna know at the end of the day? Like, let's say you have 365 days a year. You kill one person every year. Yeah. You kill one person every day. One person every day. Yeah. If you actually diversify the people you kill in terms of different genders, ethnicities, countries, occupations, ages, then I don't see it. Then who's gonna catch me? Who is gonna stop me? Who gonna stop me? No.
But Light was cool because the first couple of people he killed were from the same area.
Of course. I wouldn't get cool with it because I wouldn't use it how Light would use it. I don't know how I would use it. Probably, look, maybe I would have used it to take out Eric Ten Hag, but he's being sacked by Manchester United. Not to do that. But listen, let me, keep seeing, a couple points, us lose a couple games, whoever's responsible will be taken, will be gone.
You should take out the players, bro.
Only,
because
let me tell you something. I would only use on football players that are affecting my blood pressure. I'm managers that are affecting my blood pressure. That's how I would use it.
But it's crazy because you could literally put. We're not condoning this. We don't condone this. But you could put Elon Musk, before he dies, sends all the money in his bank account to my account.
Yeah, you're getting caught, bro. You're getting caught.
Can you imagine the police? Like, Elon Musk sent all the money in his bank account, like, that's a couple billion, to just a random person in London.
You're getting caught.
And then dies of a heart attack.
You're getting caught. I mean, now that you say it, that is a way how a lot of people would use it. A lot of people would use it for their financial gain. In that specific way you just mentioned, they could target very, very wealthy people. But it's just about how do you acquire that money without...
But then if I just dash my book in a bush or hide it under the ground, what's the police actually gonna say to me? Like, they'll say, what did you do? You just say I didn't do anything.
Real talk, especially if you're in a whole different country, you have alibi, like, literally, yeah, that is true. Especially if it's a heart attack as well. How am I meant to kill someone by a heart attack? Or if it's a specific way where the death cannot be related to a homicide.
Yeah, that would genuinely be one of the imagine being the police officer in that scenario. That would honestly be, why has Elon Musk sent all his money to some random person and then dies?
That's when Western people will start believing about witchcraft and that's what it's gonna change.
You see them aunties in the WhatsApp group chat. I know what you did. I know what you did. No, because that is literally, you've gone shrine.
Well, man, literally, they're gonna have a field day with that, man. They're gonna be mandatory prayers in every home. Literally.
My days. That is shrine.
Literally.
But that's been a big 5. It was good. As said before, this is part 2. We are doing the Death Note series will be 3 parts. So this is the penultimate video, the penultimate podcast. And we're now into the prediction section. So these are your final predictions for the show.
Yeah.
These are your final predictions. After this, we have finished Death Note.
Yeah.
So just say any and all your final predictions. What's gonna happen? What's the story? What's gonna happen with Light? Who wins? Who dies? What's your prediction?
Look, simple. Let's get straight to it. Nice and easy. Misa dies. Yeah, she's dead. She killed herself. She's halved her life so many times. She's gonna die soon. Okay, that's done. Now, who else is there really to die? You have the people of the investigation, and you have Light. Those are the people.
You have Light. We basically have Light, the investigation team, Light's dad, Light's family, Misa.
Yeah, I don't see his mom and sister getting too heavily involved. We've barely seen them. I don't know if they were in the actual Yotsuba arc.
I don't think we've seen them. Yeah.
Yeah,
his
now
arc.
I don't. Maybe his sister getting involved makes sense. I don't know. I don't think we will see that happen though. But in terms of deaths, I've always felt like a father death always just made sense. The father to die always made sense. So I'll go with Misa dying, and I'll take Light's father dying.
You said Misa's gonna die because of the time running out, right?
Yeah.
What about Light's dad?
Alright.
You think Light will kill his dad?
No. Correct me if I'm wrong. Light's father was he hospitalized in the most recent arc? Did he not have health issues?
He did have health issues in part 1, and he even went to the hospital. He had a heart attack.
I'll go with him being killed, but I don't know. I'll go with him being killed.
You do not think Light will kill his dad?
Light killing his dad. But he was very...
Bear in mind, his dad has been his #1 supporter for the last... Ever since Light was added to the team, his dad has been his #1 supporter. His dad literally went to jail.
I don't
he
think
said, "I can't be out
I
with
don't
my
think
son
he kills his father. I don't think he kills his father.
Okay. But do you think he dies?
He dies.
What's gonna be the story of Light Yagami? How does it end?
Oh, this is a tough one, man. It's a tough one. It's harder to predict. This art. It's very, very hard because now we're going off with because the battle of L and Light was gonna continue into the next arc, and that was the whole dilemma we had. Now we actually don't know the dilemma. Okay, let's just presume. Okay, Light goes back to his normal ways of killing criminals. Let's say, okay, so, okay, let's say we have we have law enforcement, or you have someone like, you either have law enforcement after him, or you have someone of a high level like the Yotsuba group, like a singular individual this time. So there's gonna be someone who's against him. I don't think that's just who's gonna be. So it's either gonna be law enforcement or just a high level criminal. And then I think as I said before, I don't know if I said this in part 1, but I do think Light's father does find out about him.
You said that is the prediction you know the most. You're most confident in Light dad finding out.
No. That's gonna happen. Whether you like it or he'll either die before that happens. If the only way it doesn't happen is if he dies. That's gonna happen. There's no way you're telling me he goes the whole show without knowing it was just his son. There's no way. So I think Light's father finds out, and I think at the end, Light remains king and he comes out on top. I think he remains king, comes out on top.
You think Light ends on top?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want it to happen.
The show ends with him with the pen in his hand.
Pen in his hand.
And the notebook in front.
Pen in his hand, yes sir. Or maybe he retires it.
Interesting. Very interesting predictions. Do I have anything else to say? No, I don't. We'll find out. We'll find out in the next part. But it's been a good recording. I'm looking at the time and saying 1 hour 6 minutes, so I'll have to chop that up. But it's been a good recording. I've enjoyed it. Part 2, the Yotsuba arc. Part 3, bring it on. The final part, Death Note's final part.
Running,
please, everyone check the socials. I'm telling you guys now, if you want to interact with us, the host, the Diddler, join the Reddit. Go and join the Reddit. Check us in the communities. We're active. Death Note community. We're active. Join the Reddit. Join the socials. Subscribe, like, comment. Watch the shorts. They're coming soon. Check another review series. But it's been good. The Diddler, final words.
Look, man, it's Puff Diddler. You know we're active. Part 3, we're there. I want to see you there. Run out everything, man. It's been beautiful.
It's been beautiful. Goodbye.